I'm a reconstructive scientist and I make facial prosthetics. Today I'm going to talk about artificial eyes. We make artificial eyes out of acrylic and we make them custom made for each patient. They can be either fitted directly under the eyelids or into a prosthetic piece that fits into the socket. The stages of making an artificial eye start with painting the iris disc. The iris disc is painted by adding oil paints or pencils or acrylic paints to match the iris of the patient's remaining eye. We then take an impression of the socket, whether it's under the eyelids or whether the entire orbit. We then process this in wax and try this into the patient to see if it fits. Once we've checked this onto the patient and agreed with them that they like the outcome, we then process this into an acrylic that matches the sclera of the eye, which is the white part. Once we've done that, we then paint the sclera and add veins and any other detail to make it look very realistic. Then we process the entire part in a clear acrylic and we come out with what we used to call a glass eye, now known as an acrylic artificial eye. If we then put it in a prosthesis, we have to then wax out and paint up and colour match any silicone and then fit that part onto the patient too. Once we're happy with everything, we can trim and polish and make the eye particularly shiny, and then we can fit it back into the patient. And that's how we make an artificial eye. Now that we've got the wax of the eye, we put it into half of the flask and we're going to top that with some more white plaster to make its own bespoke mould. We've already filled the vessel with some water. I'm going to top that up with some Crystal plaster of Paris and close the mould. This is a finished artificial eye. You can see how the iris has been coloured and painted. In this case I used oil paints. And then you can also see how the sclera, the white of the eye, has been painted and got red threads to replicate veins onto. We try and polish the eye as closely and as highly finished as possible to make sure that bacteria doesn't grow very easily on it and it doesn't irritate the socket when it's in. As you can see, making artificial eyes has lots of stages. We have to match the anatomy of the eye as closely as we can to make them look as real as possible.